Prices we challenge any dealer in America to beat.
Next, a shelter is open for people affected by Harvey's flooding here in Lake Charles, and we'll tell you what you can do to help out.
And what the mayor of Houston is telling residents is the emergency response system there is overloaded.
And in our first hour forecast, we are tracking obviously the latest with Tropical Storm Harvey and the flood threat that's increasing over parts of southwest Louisiana today. More straight ahead coming up.
Sponsored by Nissan of Lake Charles. At your service with news for southwest Louisiana. This is 7 News Sunrise.
It is Monday, August 28th, 5:30 now. Welcome to Sunrise. I'm John Bridges.
And I'm Brittany Glazer. Thank you for joining us. Of course, Harvey is still the story of the morning. Ben, a lot of people getting pounded with some rain right now.
It's been the story of the weekend. Now it's going to be the story of the week. We've got several more days of impacts here with this stalled storm. And the impact we're going to have today is flooding. We've got flash flood warnings in effect for Calcasieu, parts of Beaumont and northern Cameron parishes underway now. We've got heavy rain. We've got one part of this storm over northwestern Cameron parish that is producing some perhaps damaging winds, 60-mile-an-hour winds here on the west side of Cameron parish. Severe thunderstorm warning in effect there for the Sabine National Wildlife Refuge, moving north at about 25 miles per hour. And what's concerning is this entire line is just moving so slow across the western side of the parish that we're going to have to deal with this potential for heavy rain, perhaps flooding rains later this morning. I'm looking at this one band of rain that could potentially dump as much as 5 to 10 inches of rain across parts of southwest Louisiana just today alone. Rain chances are high. If you got to be out on those roads, I would advise staying home today unless it's an emergency. We're going to have the rain chances with us pretty much all day, on and off, and those heavy bursts of rain are going to cause some problems with street flooding. Coming up, I'll have much more on Harvey and a second landfall ahead later this week. Much more on that ahead in just a few minutes. John and Brittany.
All right, Ben, 5:32, and a temporary shelter is now open in Lake Charles.
KPLC's Candy Rodriguez is there now to tell us how you can help out those in need this morning, or if you know someone in need, how they can connect with this shelter. Good morning, Candy. There are about 20 or so people there right now.
Brittany, about 24 to be exact, and they have about 35 cots, but they're not turning away anyone. So if you are in need and you're displaced from your home, you can come on down here. It's off of Avenue H here in Lake Charles near Sewella. And to tell us a little bit more about what it is that these individuals that are in here need is Jacob Faskey. He's a volunteer with Water's Edge. You guys put this together essentially in a matter of a few hours. Tell me how that happened.
We just got a call. We were actually having a hurricane party, if you will, playing some dominoes with the family, and we got the call from Kelly, and just having the servant's heart that we have, we knew we had to get out and do something.
And Kelly's with Water's Edge Church and kind of rounded up this idea of like we need something, because primarily the people that you'll find in here right now are homeless people, right?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
But you are not turning away anyone.
Correct.
And so if they come in here and they don't have, if you no longer have a cot available, tell me, how can they help in order to stay here, essentially?
We're trying to put it out in several different avenues, Facebook, social media, about the needs that we have. There's several numbers that we put out on the Water's Edge page. So any of those numbers you can call and contact us and find out what our needs are, because they're changing every minute. We could say 1 minute that we need water, and as you saw earlier, we've got a mountain of water in there.
What do we need right now?
Bedding. We really need bedding. Towels for them to take a shower. They're coming in. They're already wet, so their clothes are soaked. We could really use some extra sweatpants, something with a drawstring, plain T-shirts. But bedding is the most important thing right now. We need blankets. We need pillows. And like flip-flops and just stuff for them to change into.
Right, and I know you said white tops, white T-shirts, elastic pants, stuff of that matter.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely.
All right, sounds good, Jacob. And of course, all this information will be posted online at kplctv.com and on your 7 News mobile app. There you can find the exact address of this location and a person to contact if you would like to help. For now, at your service, live in Lake Charles, Candy Rodriguez, KPLC 7 News.
All right, great idea. Just got information from the Allen Parish superintendent this morning for schools.
They're saying schools will be closed there today, so that adds to the growing list. We've got Beauregard that announced this morning as well, and then Jeff Davis and Calcasieu had already announced, as well as the Diocese of Lake Charles.
And Cameron Parish. So basically most in the 5-parish area are closed this morning. Another way that you can help out flood victims is donating to a number of organizations that are getting help over to Texas.
You can donate to the Salvation Army at helpsalvationarmy.org. Catholic Charities USA also has a website. You see it there on the screen. If you want to donate to the Red Cross, you can text Harvey to 90999, and that automatically donates $10. The money will be drafted during your next cell phone bill.
The mayor of Houston says its emergency system is being overwhelmed with phone calls from people needing help during severe flooding there. Mayor Sylvester Turner says they have a backlog of about 1,000 calls that they've not been able to get to. They're handling life-threatening situations first, and Turner says the safest place for Houston residents to be is in their homes, even if the water is coming in.
Pretty crazy to see the suggestions that were being made yesterday, but for a good reason, where they were saying people were going into their attic. They're actually saying if you're in that situation, just go ahead and go to your roof and call for help.
Not a good idea. You don't want to get
trapped there. Up next, heavy rains in the forecast for southwest Louisiana today means a risk for flooding. We'll be live to show you what the roads look like this morning.
And coming up, we'll be talking with Deidre Duryea from the DOTD about advice for drivers today. 5:36. You're watching 7 News Sunrise on KPLC.
Save on the remaining 2017s at Toyota's National Clearance Event. Many models come with Toyota Safety Sense Standard. Learn more at Toyota.com.
Qualified buyers get 0% APR for 72 months on the adventurous 2017 RAV4. Toyota, let's go places.
Patricia lost 50 pounds with Medifast, and she feels fabulous. Russell lost 45 pounds with Medifast, and he has more energy for his daily routine. At Medifast, our mission is to help you reach your weight loss goal. Medifast offers meal plans and support options to fit any lifestyle. Join Medifast today and lose 20 pounds for $20 plus the cost of your weekly meals. That's right, 20 pounds for $20. Each week, we guarantee to see less of you. Call Medifast today, 721-0633.
Buying a car or truck? So you find a good deal, you get approved for your loan, and wait a minute, you find out that Southwest Louisiana Credit Union will beat the interest rate you got? Whoa, hit the brakes. Yep, in most cases, we'll beat the other guy's rate by a full %. Want to refinance? Same deal. Southwest Louisiana Credit Union will beat your old rate. I mean, let's get those payments down. We are here to help because we care. Because we're not a bank. We are Southwest Louisiana Credit Union.
Nice ride.
Are you healthy? Well, sure, but what about your mouth, your teeth, your oral health? Robinson Dental Group Family Dentistry is here to help with a free dental exam for new patients. And Robinson Dental Group offers sedation dentistry for a more relaxed dental visit, even for someone who's nervous about going to the dentist. Go ahead, make an appointment at Robinson Dental Group. Get healthy. Healthy teeth, healthy mouth, healthy smile, healthy you. Call us. We'll see you today.
Stop everything. IHOP French toasted a donut. Yep, then added crispy bacon and delicious fruit. What the French toasted donut? It's unbelievable. Try it as a combo while it's available. IHOP, eat up every moment.
Want a better understanding of the law? The Legal Brief explains your rights. Monday mornings at 6:30 on 7 News Sunrise. Brought to you by Cox, Philo, Camel, and Wilson.
Wherever you are, we are. Download the 7 News Now app today.
Save on the remaining 2017s at Toyota's National Clearance Event. Many models come with Toyota Safety Sense Standard. Learn more at Toyota.com.
Qualified buyers get 0% APR for 60 months on a new 2017 Special Edition Tundra. Toyota, let's go places.
5:39 now, tracking Harvey this morning and its impacts on southwest Louisiana. Looking live at our Lake Charles Skycam, where the wind's picking up just a bit, especially with these bands of rain that are moving into our area. So far, since midnight, we've received 1.37 inches of rain there on the downtown Skycam. I was looking at the information from the National Weather Service yesterday, broke a daily rainfall record in Lake Charles at 3.17 inches of rain that fell on Sunday at the National Weather Service office. And speaking of those winds across the area, we're seeing some gusts now, 30, 32 mile per hour gusts down in Cameron. We've had some gusts from our Skycam in Cameron up close to 40 miles per hour at times this morning. And again, that's coming in from some of those squalls that are pushing our way with these rain bands now moving into Cameron and the western portions now of Calcasieu Parish. And this is one in particular squall or rain band that is going to be producing a lot of heavy rain over the course of the next several hours. In fact, this line is moving very slow as it moves toward the north and east, and it's dumping a lot of rain. The rainfall rates with this are going to add up, and we may see some areas that see 5 to maybe as many as 10 inches of rain before the next 24 to 36 hours, just with the slow pace that this rain band is pushing its way across western and southwestern portions of Cameron and now western Calcasieu parishes. So rain is the problem today. Flooding is the potential we are going to be tracking more on. But of course, Harvey still could reemerge into the Gulf. We'll talk about a second landfall later this week and why that means the potential for more flooding over southwest Louisiana coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, and as Ben has mentioned, bands of rain continue to move through southwest Louisiana.
KPLC's Kayla Corval is live this morning to say what she's seeing on area roadways. Kayla, it started to rain again, and you've been feeling the wind pick up.
Yes, actually, just recently I've started to feel the wind pick up a little bit, and even the rain starting to come down a little bit harder. This is Enterprise Road behind me. A little bit of standing water here on the roads. People driving through, because it's so dark, they don't see the water that's on the roads, and it's causing some issues for people. If you're heading out on the roads right now, be careful of that standing water. I would recommend, if you're not heading out right now, that you stay inside. This is going to get much worse as that band of rain in southeast Texas continues to move through southwest Louisiana, as Ben had said earlier. And right now we're starting to see, I think, it get closer and closer with what we're seeing right now as the wind and the rain continues to get stronger and stronger. And the roads so far have been pretty clear. I think this is the worst we've seen here on Enterprise. Hopefully a car will come through so you can see just what it is. It's about just up to my ankles right now, so nothing impassable as of right now, but we're still continuing to monitor this. And as this rain continues to come down, again, the roads most likely will flood into the rest of the morning. So we'll continue to be here to bring you updates on what's going on. John and Brittany?
All right, we know that situation can change quickly with just a little bit of rain.
Right.
Ben will let us know how fast it's going to be coming down this morning. He says that we'll have a lot to watch.
Yeah, checking sky cams from throughout the lake area this morning. Westlake has 73 degrees, northwest winds at 6 miles an hour.
How do you want to live? As a decent person? Good husband? Is that it? Good? Of course not. King of the hill? Better. Top of your game? Win. All powerful. Like a boss. Like a pro. We couldn't agree more. We are professional grade. Step up to GMC and get over $10,000 total value on specially equipped Sierra Crew Cab SLT vehicles.
See your GMC dealer for these and other offers.
Over the years, you've seen me in a lot of commercials, and you've heard from my clients about their accidents and seen the real dollar amounts I've gotten them. But at Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys, it's not just about the results we get our clients, it's about the relationships we build with them.
When I called Gordon, things turned around for me. They did an awesome job. They treated me like family, as though I was the only client that they had. Call Gordon. He'll get it done.
Just call me. Get it done.
Call 888-8888.
You know what's going on again at Popeyes? Here's a hint. Need a bigger hint? It's the $5 Bonafide Big Box. 2 pieces of my chicken or 3 tenders, 2 sides, and a biscuit for just $5.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
I just love Oak Park Dental. I've been coming here for years, and the care is excellent. But it's more than that. The staff at Oak Park Dental makes you feel comfortable from the moment you enter the door.
We've always received the same level of high-quality personal service from every staff member.
From routine care to root canals, braces, and even teeth whitening, Oak Park Dental has given me pain-free confidence in my smile.
You deserve a day at the park.
When you like something, you give it a thumbs up. When you love something, you tell your friends.
I do recommend JK Subaru to my friends and family all the time.
The Subaru A Lot to Love event is going on now. Hurry in for 0% financing on 2017 Outback, Crosstrack, and Legacy, or lease them with these attractive payments. And complimentary maintenance is included. The Subaru A Lot to Love event at the airport or jksubaru.com.
Jillian Corder, weekdays 1st at 4 on KPLC 7 News. Wherever you are, we are. Get your news and weather on the go. Download the KPLC News and Weather apps today. Sponsored by L'Auberge Casino Resort.
From the 7 Storm Team, your first alert weather with meteorologist Ben Terry.
5:45, looking at temperatures here across southwest Louisiana in the 70s. Of course, the rain is falling at the airport. Looking at rainfall totals so far today, we've got a 22-mile-an-hour wind as well out of the east-northeast at this hour at Lake Charles Regional. 73/100 of an inch since midnight officially. These are over just since just the past few hours as the rain continues to add up here across southwest Louisiana. Rainfall totals today, rainfall chances rather today, all the way up to 100%. And we're seeing that now. That's going to continue all the way through the daytime hours. There will be some breaks in between, but it's this one band of rain that is particularly concerning here now, pushing into western Cameron and Calcasieu parishes. We're going a little bit closer on this one cell. We've got mainly lighter rain falling over the rest of our area, all the way from Vernon down to Beauregard, Allen included in that. Not a whole lot of issues here if you're out driving this morning. If you're in those areas generally east of the Lake Charles area. When you get over closer to Vinton, closer to Orange, that's where we have heavy rain right now. And within this cell that we're seeing some strong gusty winds. In fact, there's that severe thunderstorm warning that was out there for the northwestern part of Cameron Parish as that heavy rain is now pushing into the Orange area, and more of this heavy rain about to be moving ashore there in Cameron. So as that feeder band of Harvey inches closer, heavy rain potential will be increasing today, and I think as we head into the afternoon, we'll continue to see these additional tropical downpours around the area. With embedded within any of those, we could have quick little spin-up tornadoes as well. Futurecast tries to show another one developing here over the area late tonight. That's sort of been the trend of how these heaviest bands have been forming. It's been during those overnight hours that we've seen the majority of the problems when it comes to flooding. That's what happened there in the Houston area. Rainfall totals. This is a widespread swath here. This is not taking into account the localized impacts that we could see. I mentioned already today that there could be some areas that see as much as 5 to 10 inches of rain just today. So be on the lookout for fast rising water. Of course, over the days ahead, river rises, and that's going to be an issue for us that will be changing some of those crests that are right now forecast to remain out of the major flood stage. But it's something we've got to watch closely with these rainfall totals that add up. Isolated spots, 5 to 10 inches today. Over the next 5 days, widespread totals of 10 to 15, but as much as 20 inches of rain could be possible by Friday. With quick spin-up tornadoes, we have that tornado watch that's in effect through this afternoon. That will likely get extended. All right, Harvey is now back closer to the coastline here. It's nearing Port O'Connor, Texas. The reason why it's stalling here is we've got two big areas of high pressure, one to the east, one to the west. It's hitting a roadblock here, and it can't go anywhere at this point. It looks like, though, by Thursday or Friday, we'll see the pattern shift enough that there will be enough of a weakness here in the atmosphere, a little trough developing that should pull the storm eventually into north of our area by this weekend. But we've still got a few days to go with very little movement with this storm. I will say the track from the Hurricane Center does take it back out over the Gulf of Mexico, sort of the consensus now as we go into Wednesday. But don't be alarmed. We're not really expecting this to take off and intensify. The Gulf waters here are cool enough from all the rain and the original landfall that we should see a maintaining of tropical storm winds, but an additional impact as far as strengthening back to a hurricane not likely. We could have some tropical storm warnings, though, issued for Cameron Parish later this week just due to that second landfall and the track that will carry the storm by Thursday here over parts of southwest Louisiana. So additional impacts there will be felt when it comes to rain and a potential flooding. So here are our impacts that we're expecting to see perhaps tomorrow night going into Wednesday. Some tropical storm force winds as the storm makes landfall. Additional rainfall totals 10 to 15 locally, as much as 20 inches of rain. And of course the storm surge threat with the landfall of the second landfall of the storm looks to be minor. We'll get some updates from the National Weather Service today in their briefing on some of those surge levels that they are expecting to see there in Cameron. But again, that would be Tuesday going into Wednesday with that landfall. Rain chances high, and again, main threat today will be coming in the form of flash flooding.
Thanks, Ben. 5:49, and flooding's a big concern for southwest Louisiana as Harvey moves in. And to tell us more what to do if those roads flood or the condition of the roads this morning, DOTD Public Information Officer Deidre Drouillet, who is on the phone with me this morning. Deidre, I understand that you're advising people to stay off the roads today.
We are, John. Thank you for having me this morning. One of the things we do want to encourage motorists. Of course, we're expected to get about another 5 to 10 inches of rainfall today, and another 3 inches or so for Tuesday. And so for us, it's quite likely that those areas that we do tend to see some flooding in, kind of like our low-lying areas. They may do so again in the next few days. So we are encouraging motorists to stay off the roads if at all possible. And if they do travel, that they plan ahead their commutes by visiting our 511la.gov website to see which routes are closed. Because mind you, John, even if they leave the house and they see a route is open at the time, it's still good just to make sure that you check again right before you leave, because a lot of our routes, the conditions change very rapidly. So we do want to encourage people to plan detour routes, but most importantly, if they don't have to travel, to just stay at home.
Good idea to check that website. Deidre, tell me, are there any major roadways closed this morning?
Right now, there are no major roadways closed. A lot of the main areas, like our I-210 main line, our I-10 main line, all of those are still open. At one point, we did have some of those exit ramps and on-ramps. Those were closed in some of those service road areas on I-210. Those were closed at one point. We have been able to get those back open. But, John, I wouldn't be surprised if we ended up going back and having to close those again with the amount of rainfall that we're seeing. So, again, our crews, they're out there on the road. We have about 40 people that are helping us go out on the road and monitor the route. They're monitoring the road conditions and putting up high water signs and barricades.
Very good.
So they're out there as soon as possible. Like now, we're getting a lot of rain right now.
All right.
So they're out there monitoring the areas and making sure that it's safe for the traveling public, putting up barricades. And that's the one thing we do encourage the public, is that we put those barricades and those signs up for a reason.
Yes.
So we do ask that they not remove them and try and travel through that standing water, because you just never know how deep it could be. And you also don't know the condition of the pavement underneath.
All right,
so our crews are out there.
Deidre, thank you so much. Repeat to us once again the website to go to find out more information on road closures in Louisiana.
Sure. The website is 511la.org.
All right. Very good. Thank you, Deidre Drouillet from DOTD this morning. We appreciate the update. Coming up in our next half hour, Calcasieu Parish Sheriff Tony Mancuso here to tell us more about what's being done to help out in the wake of Harvey.
And that's the threat from Harvey, of course, not over yet. Also in Cameron Parish, we'll talk to the OEP director there, Danny Laverne, as 7 News Sunrise continues. It's 5:53.
Now at the Honda Summerbration sales event, you can get a great deal on a Honda Accord. Then go out and have all sorts of summer adventures. A summer of fun awaits at the Honda Summerbration sales event. Hurry in and get a great deal on a Honda Accord from KBB.com's Best Value brand. Today at your local Honda dealer.
After my hysterectomy, I noticed I have a little bit of urinary incontinence. Spoke to Dr. Molason. He mentioned the Core 2 Intima laser that would help tack up my bladder. The procedure is in his office, about 10-15 minutes. There is no pain, no downtime, no aftercare. When I jog, I don't have to worry about looking for that next bathroom stop, not having to get up 4 or 5 times in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. The urinary incontinence is totally gone. It's been wonderful.
I come from a special generation. Different. We sparked a cultural revolution. So, who made the rules about what 55 should be? Well, I'm shaking up the rules. I'm not going gently into that good night. So I've got to stay healthy for me and my family.
That's why I have Memorial. They're the best. A different kind of health care for my generation.
Fast foodies know how to get a win before the game even starts. And winning just got easier because the 4 for $3 comes with a checker burger with cheese, fries, apple pie, and a drink for just $3. Beats trying to fill up on overpriced stadium food. The 4 for $3 deal with your choice of 3 sandwiches. Checkers and Rallies. Fast foodies know the deal.
Enamel is the strong, white outer layer of your tooth surface. The thing that's really important to dentists is to make sure that that enamel stays strong and resilient for a lifetime. The more that we can strengthen and reharden that tooth surface, the whiter their patient's teeth are going to be. Dentists are going to really want to recommend Pronamel Strong and Bright. It helps to strengthen and reharden the enamel. It also has stain lifting action. It's going to give their patients the protection that they need and the whiter teeth that they want.
5:55 now. Some Cameron Parish residents are back home after mandatory evacuation was downgraded to a voluntary evacuation. That order is still in effect this morning. Cameron Parish OEP Director Danny Laverne tells us what residents there can expect as Harvey continues to move towards southwest Louisiana. Good morning, Danny. Thanks so much for joining us. And really a big threat right now continues to be tornado possibilities.
Yes, and good morning. I thank KPLC for the reach out because it's very important to get the word out to the people to stay informed at all times during this weather conditions.
And we saw some video Saturday from Cameron Parish where we saw a trailer that was flipped because of a tornado, and you're even getting word of another one last night around midnight.
We had one last night. The same day the one that hit Hackberry, there was another one that was confirmed in the Johnson Bayou area. No injuries. And then Hackberry, where it hit, it was in an evacuated area. And good thing the people evacuated because it wasn't in the trailer and the home next door that got some roof damage.
Okay, well, let's talk about that evacuation order. Do you know of many people who left that have now returned home?
Some have. We still getting calls daily. They don't want to take a chance as long as the tornado threat's in the area. They're making arrangements just to stay out a little bit longer. We was patients to leave, and they're going to have patients to come back.
Okay. We were talking Friday and, of course, Saturday, too. The big issue that was the greatest concern at that time was storm surge. That's something that it looks like was more of a minimal impact. Are we still concerned about that looking ahead to this week?
No, as of now, even if the storm turns into a tropical storm, it'll pick up strength, but it'll be with the water. The forecast doesn't see any enhancement on any storm surge, but it's the rainfall, and we haven't experienced this much rain in that short a time.
And tell people, really looking at the structures of many of the homes down in Cameron Parish about why something like stronger winds can really be a threat.
Because the stronger winds will affect the tide levels and the remaining water that's staying on the roadways. There's really no hazard or potential threat to homes itself as far as water getting into homes. It's just it'll impact our roadways where it could keep you from getting medical attention, or you'd be trapped behind flooded waters.
Okay, important reminders this morning. Again, we're talking to Cameron Parish OEP Director Danny Laverne. Y'all stay safe down there, and thanks for what y'all are doing to make sure the residents there are in the know about exactly what's going on. And just to reinforce one more time, a voluntary evacuation order does remain in effect this morning for folks down in Cameron Parish.
All right, Calcasieu Parish Sheriff Tony Mancuso is here. We'll be talking with him on our next half hour about what's going on in the parish here. Ben?
As if the rain wasn't enough, John, we got potentially another landfall of this storm by Wednesday. Here's the track from the Hurricane Center, putting it close to somewhere either in southeast Texas or near the Sabine River by Wednesday. Still a tropical storm. We'll talk about those impacts, but plus our flooding threat today, first and foremost. Stay off the roads. If you don't have to be on the roads today, your forecast is next.
We're challenging
every dealer. This is our August summer sale.
The beautiful 2017 GMC Acadia SUV, $9,000 below MSRP.
We're going to give you high trade-in dollars, great discounts. Come to our store right now.
I'm Blake D. Hines. I'm a municipal contractor from the Lake Charles area. My company relocated water lines for Sasol's heavy haul route and continues to work on water systems for the new mega project. Sasol's growth has provided opportunities for companies across the area to grow, creating hundreds of new jobs. Thanks to contracts with Sasol, we were able to open a small industrial construction company of our own. Sasol is building local business, and together we're building a better Southwest Louisiana.
If improving the way you look and feel has been on your mind, now's a great time to schedule your private consultation with the offices of Dr. Kenneth Odenay. Together we'll explore your cosmetic, reconstructive, or plastic surgery options. And with Care Credit, you're offered multiple ways to fit your surgery into your budget. Now's a great time to discover a brand new you with help from the offices of Dr. Kenneth Odenay. Call 234-8648 to schedule your consultation today.
We will not be undersold. Sleep easy knowing that you got the best deal possible at Mattress and Waterbed Gallery. Find a lower price anywhere in town and we'll beat it guaranteed. With over 100 sets to choose from. Mattress and Waterbed Gallery, one of CERTA's largest Louisiana dealers.
Hurry, it's the final days of the Ford Summer Sales event.
Looks a little tight. Here, I'll park it. Dad, relax. Whoa. You kids have it way too easy these days.
Take on summer right with Ford, America's best-selling brand. Time is running out for summer's hottest offer. Get 0% for 72 months plus an additional $1,000 on top of your trade-in.
Hurry in for 0% for 72 months plus $1,000 on top of what your trade-in is worth. Don't wait. The Ford Summer Sales event and this deal ends September 5th.
Sponsored by Nissan of Lake Charles. At your service with news for Southwest Louisiana. This is 7 News Sunrise.
Good morning and thanks for joining us for 7 News Sunrise on this Monday, August 28th. I'm Brittany Glazer.
I'm John Bridges, and our continuing coverage of the aftermath of Harvey and Tropical Storm Harvey, which, Ben, I understand you said is hugging along the coastline right now.
Yeah, we got that outer band of the storm. Really the only outer band that's producing a lot of the heavy rain and flood potential is now on the doorsteps here of Cameron Parish, southwest Cameron Parish right now. Heavy rain. We've had severe thunderstorm warnings issued for a couple of these cells embedded within this line of heavy rain. And it's just a slow mover. In fact, it's going to take this line really all morning to work through southwest Louisiana. And that's why the concern is there for flooding here as we head through the next, I would say, 6 hours or so as we head through the morning hours today. Is this just slowly, gradually inching its way here into Cameron and eventually Calcasieu Parishes. Best case scenario, though, would be this band weakening a bit, especially as we get after sunrise, which has been the trend. These lines, they ramp up in the overnight. That's what caused the Houston flooding. And then during the day, they sort of let up in intensity just a bit. So we'll definitely hope that that's the case, but we can't bank on that being the guarantee. And I think street flooding is going to become a problem for us over these next few hours. Looking at rain chances today all the way up to 100%. Of course, much more ahead on Harvey, and those impacts for the next several days, far-reaching for the new week ahead. We'll have more on that coming up in just a few minutes. John and Brittany.
All right, and of course you can get a live update of road conditions as they happen during the storm. In our last half hour, we were talking with Deidre Droulier from the DOTD. She says 511la.org is the website for current travel information across the state.
They're posting road closures as they happen, and Deidre also mentioned that DOTD right now has about 40 workers out monitoring conditions. She said no major road closures right now, but it's something that could change quickly as we're looking at these rain bands. Floodwaters devastated Houston, and now we're seeing that rain pouring in many parts of southwest Louisiana.
Kayla Corvell is live now to tell us what you can expect as the sun comes up. Kayla, where are you now?
Right now, I'm at the corner of Lake and Prion Lake Road, one of the places notorious in Lake Charles for flooding. We've driven up and down Ryan Street, Prion Lake Road, and right now not seeing any flooding, but I'm not going to say that's going to be true for the rest of the day. I think as this rain continues to come down, the wind picks up and we get that large band of rain coming from southwest Texas. southeast Texas, excuse me, I think we are going to start seeing some flooding. I know that Calcasieu Parish Sheriff's Office is ready to perform some high water rescues. You can see the wind starting to pick up right now. It's kind of been off and on, but I think at one point, as that band continues to move through, we're going to see a lot more rain on the ground than what we're seeing right now. As you can see right now, it's pretty clear. Most roads are clear, but that's not going to be the story within the next few hours or so. John and Brittany?
All right, and as Kayla mentioned, the Calcasieu Parish Sheriff's Office Patrol Division's high water team is working to help anyone in a weather-related emergency. It's a weather situation that can turn dangerous quickly. Calcasieu Sheriff Tony Mancuso with us now. Sheriff, tell us, first of all, you have seen some results of the news conference yesterday, I think it was yesterday, asking people to stay off the roads.
You know, that's been our biggest help, I guess, instead of hindrance.
Yeah.
People have, there's really not a lot of traffic on the roadways, and that really helps us in a lot of ways, because we're not dealing with the wrecks and all the problems that go around with normal day-to-day traffic. So that really has helped us tremendously. People are heeding the warnings of staying off the road if they have to, but we still, the biggest part, as you can see with the weather, is yet to come. They've predicted it kind of on track. They just weren't sure exactly when, but we have no wiggle room right now as far as water. Whatever we get now is going to rise, and we're just going to have to deal with it. And so I think right now, I've been saying it all weekend, don't let your guard down.
Right.
This is the time to really pay attention to your media and your public officials that are giving you these warnings, and look at what's going on, because it can get very bad.
Very good. A few minutes ago, you and I were meeting with Ben Terry and looking at this band of rain that could be moving up into the area. Ben was telling us between 7 and noon today. Does this have your attention?
It really does.
Yeah.
And what's got our attention is when he was explaining that this could be very, very slow moving. And when that happens, we just can't take this. Our rivers, our bayous, our drains, storm drains, they're full. I mean, they've been full for days now, and when we get these little rains, so it's got us very concerned, and hopefully people have, by now they've listened to us all weekend about if you live in a prone flooded area, then take appropriate action. We have not had to make any rescues as of yet, but we're ready. We
have crews ready to go out the water.
We've had them ready since yesterday. They're actually deployed already. We have probably, on a normal day, we probably have 60 extra men and women that are trained and ready and prepared for both shifts, night shift and the day shift. So yes, we're ready, but we hope we don't have to use them. And
a couple of stories we heard about out of Houston too were people who climbed up into their attics to get out of water's way, but that's not a good idea. It's best to just get on the roof itself if you do become flooded that much.
Absolutely, and it can be bad. We have numbers that people can call, certainly 911
for an emergency.
And I'm gonna say it again: if you're prone to flooding, then probably you should make other arrangements now, because there's a good possibility that will happen. We hope not. There's always a possibility we're spared, and I tell people this all the time. If we're spared, then just consider us lucky. It's not that nobody doesn't know what they're doing. We just get lucky sometimes, and these things split and they weaken. He said there's a possibility this could weaken, but if it doesn't, we're going to have to deal with it. So it's Mother Nature, and she's mean sometimes. So
you never know what's going to happen.
You never know.
That's right. It's like the old butter commercial.
I was thinking that.
All right. Tony Mancuso, Sheriff of Calcasieu Parish, will be with us in our next half hour.
Stay safe.
Well, let's go over to Brittany at 6:08.
All right, John. And more than 20 people have found cover this morning from the rain at an emergency shelter that's been open at the Purple Heart Rec Center in Lake Charles near Chenault and Sewella. KBLC's Candy Rodriguez joins us live from there. Candy, it looks like more volunteers have arrived to help.
Brittany, that's right. They have arrived to cook breakfast for these individuals that are staying here in the shelter. A lot of them homeless. I spoke with two gentlemen earlier who told me for the past 2 days they were staying in a shed. Essentially, they stay outside, but they had to find shelter and cover from the rain. Stayed in a shed, an abandoned shed, and they just said the water was just pouring in. They showed up last night completely wet, and they're just grateful to be here. They're ready to get some breakfast, and we're talking live this morning with Amanda Brazos, who's a volunteer with Water's Edge Church in Lake Charles, who is essentially over this. Amanda, tell me what they're cooking. What are you guys doing here?
They're cooking breakfast this morning. They're cooking biscuits, sausage, eggs, and they're probably going to eat breakfast around 7 o'clock.
And about 24 people here, right? And 12 cots left, but anyone is welcome to come in here, right?
That's right. Anyone is welcome. Anyone in need. If you need a place to stay, a dry place, just come. We'll make room. Whether we have cots or not, we'll make room.
And this will stay open until Wednesday, sometime Wednesday, because you guys are going to be waiting to see what the weather does?
Yes, that's correct. For sure, it'll be open until Wednesday. We're kind of playing it by ear.
All right. Well, of course, we'll have that information. Thank you, Amanda. We'll have that information posted on KPLCTV.com and on your 70s mobile app in case you would like to come here or you know someone who needs help and needs a place to stay. For now, after service, live in Lake Charles, Candy Rodriguez, KPLC 7 News.
Coming up, if you absolutely have to be on the roads today, you need to heed a word of caution from Louisiana State Police. Sergeant James Anderson with Troop D will join us live in studio after the break at 6:09.
Attention TV antenna viewers. On August 31st, plan to rescan your TV to keep seeing the CW Lake Charles and catch the new Southwest Louisiana ABC.
It's the final days of the Summer Drive sales event at Billy Navarre Chevrolet in Lake Charles and Billy Navarre Chevrolet in Sulphur. Save 20% off MSRP on a great selection of new Chevys like Malibu, Impala, and Sonic. Pay just $319 a month on new Chevy Silverado crew cabs. Plus 0% financing for 72 months can save you even more. So for 20% off a great selection of new Chevrolets and $319 a month on Silverado crew cabs, hurry to Billy Navarre Chevrolet in Lake Charles and Billy Navarre Chevrolet in Sulphur, your Lake Charles area Chevy dealers.
At Delta Downs, we're famous for exciting casino and racing action. And with a stunning new hotel, pool, and restaurant, the new Delta Downs is just too good to pass up.
It's a lot of fun. You got to come out.
We come down from Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Every pre-owned vehicle has its own story. So does every individual. At Nissan of Lake Charles Pre-Owned, let us become a part of your story. Our pre-owned certified vehicles with their 100,000-mile powertrain warranty will help you explore new horizons and write new pages into your experience. Let us become a part of your story. Start an exciting new chapter with us at Nissan of Lake Charles Pre-Owned.
I'm John West, and I'm pain-free.
Wherever you are, we are. Download the 7-Storm Vision weather app today.
It's the luxury car giveaway, only at Delta Downs. We're celebrating this Labor Day by giving away a 2017 Mercedes-Benz C-Class sedan or BMW 3 Series sedan. Just take I-10 to Vinton. Visit deltadowns.com for details.
The 7-Storm Team Skycam Network is sponsored by Billy Navarre. With quick service and low prices, we challenge any dealer in America to beat.
6:12, rain continues to fall here across southwest Louisiana. A live look at our Westlake Skycam where people are heeding that advice and staying home. Not a whole lot of traffic out on I-10 either direction this morning, so that's a good sign there. Of course, we got this heavier rain that's going to be moving in off of the Gulf here over the course of the next couple of hours. Of course, your commute cast out there, a lot of wet weather. The rain intensity will be picking up as we head through the course of the next few hours. In fact, we're tracking this one rain band. If there's anything good about it, we're not seeing a whole lot behind it. But this rain band here, the question is it going to move on through, or is it going to do as some of the computer models show and stall it somewhere here over southwest Louisiana? Here it is. We'll put it into loop mode. You can see down into western Cameron Parish. Heavy rain with this, again, getting closer to the southwestern part of Calcasieu Parish. That right there is what's concerning with regards to street flooding and road flooding potential later this morning. I know Brittany is going to be talking a little bit more about that coming up. Brittany?
Yep, it's 6:13. That is what we're talking about right now. Driving is not advisable today in most parts of southwest Louisiana unless you absolutely have to be somewhere. This morning, Sergeant James Anderson with Louisiana State Police Troop D is joining us to talk about what could potentially become dangerous road conditions quickly. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Brittany.
All right, and we are anticipating, of course, as Ben's been saying, days of bad driving conditions. We don't know of any major road closures as of yet.
Yeah, that's correct. We have troopers that are actively monitoring the highways in the area. We have nothing significant to report at this time, but that can change very quickly. You know, one of these rain bands moves in, the conditions change very quickly, as we saw yesterday where we had interstate ramp closures, highway exit ramps were closed yesterday for a period of time. We had ramp closures here in Lake Charles. All that can change very quickly.
Tell me, what are the main areas that y'all kind of eye in on anytime we're going to have heavy rain move through the lake area?
Well, we're monitoring a lot of different areas right now, and the reason for that is these rain bands, in many cases, the heavy rainfall amounts are isolated. So we're looking at throughout the area. We're monitoring with our friends in Texas what's going on with the interstates there. Reason being, their interstate's actually about 1.5 feet lower near the Texas state line than it is on the Louisiana side. So if it gets really bad in the next few days and a closure does become necessary, it'll likely close first on their side of the border.
And we're looking right now at the Drive Texas website, where you can just see all those blue little symbols there are road closures in Texas. We know a lot of people from our area who go to doctor's appointments across the border and just really are there for a lot. Some people mentioning they want to go there to help right now, but it's just a bad idea to travel in that direction anytime in the next few days.
Yeah, it really is, Brittany. A lot of the offices there are closed due to flooding. I mean, if you don't have any place to park anyone because the parking lots are flooded and you've got water coming into businesses, they're just not in a position to do business in many cases.
So that Texas information on your screen, drivetexas.org, and then if you want the Louisiana information on road closures, it's 511la.org. And y'all work hand in hand with DOTD about when you see a road issue or, like you were mentioning, one of these exits from the interstate that really needs to have a barricade up, and people need to respect the barricade.
Yeah, absolutely. There is a state law that prohibits people from driving around those barricades. You can face up to a $500 fine if you choose to do that. We just want to keep people safe. And if you encounter high water, turn around, don't drown.
Okay, let's go back to that sky cam for a minute, because it looked like we were seeing what could be emergency lights. Not exactly sure what's going on there, or if it's maybe crews just trying to head west this morning, but we can check and see exactly what's going on. The good news is it looks like traffic is moving along on I-10 this morning. 6:16, and Ben is continuing to track Harvey this morning. And thanks, Sergeant Anderson, for coming in. We're going to have you stick around. I'm not saying farewell just yet, if you don't mind. Again, here's a live look at our Westlake sky cam. Ben's next with a look at our rain.
It's time for Bolton Ford's Back to School Super Sale on America's best-selling brand.
Like 2017 Super Crew XLTs, take $14,500 off.
Bolton Ford, the #1 selling Ford dealer in Louisiana, where our people make the difference.
Before digging in my yard, I always call 811 to have my utility lines marked, to avoid service interruptions or injury. As Centerpoint Energy says, it's better to call 811 now than 911 later. And if I suspect a gas leak, I leave the area immediately on foot and call Centerpoint Energy and 911 from a safe, remote location. Really?
Centerpoint Energy invests in its infrastructure to help keep you safe. Centerpoint Energy. Always there.
It was stop-and-go traffic on the interstate, and I was in a wreck with an 18-wheeler.
Don't take a chance with your case. Call me now and get the BART advantage.
I made that one call, and Morris BART got me $300,000.
One call, that's all.
Nissan is the premier partner of the Heisman Trophy, and we surprised fans with this award-winning lineup.
Herschel Walker.
Are you guys ready to go train with us? All right, let's go do it.
Then, here we go. They experienced Nissan's award-winning lineup.
Wow. See why they call it the Titan.
It's Nissan's bottom line model year-end event. For a limited time, save up to $79.90 on the capable 2017 Nissan Titan.
I'd love to own a Titan.
The Acadian Ambulance membership enrollment is now open. Call 800-256-JOIN or visit myacadian.com for details on enhanced benefits and easy enrollment. Hurry, the deadline is Friday, September 8th. Acadian Ambulance. Knowing life matters.
It's time for Bolton Ford's back-to-school super sale on America's best-selling brand.
Take $9,000 off Super Duties. No trade or financing to qualify. It's simply $9,000 off.
Bolton Ford, the #1 selling Ford dealer in Louisiana, where our people make the difference.
From the 7 Storm Team, your first alert weather with meteorologist Ben Terry.
6:19 radar view this morning as we're still tracking heavy rain across western portions of Calcasieu and Cameron parishes with this one band of very heavy rainfall. The good news is for us, at least, if there's anything to take out of this, it looks like it may be a little weaker than it was when it was moving through Beaumont earlier, but still it's going to be dumping a lot of heavy rain over our area as it drifts toward the northeast this morning. The rest of our area, we're seeing a light to moderate rainfall now. We'll go in a little closer on this. This storm, this feeder band, so to speak, was a little suspect earlier with some strong wind gusts there. We had a severe thunderstorm warning out on it earlier. Still now really producing a lot of the heaviest rain down from Cameron, stretching up north of Holly Beach over up toward Lone Pine, and then over toward Orange. And then we see that band kind of drifting gradually toward the northeast, and that's one of the things that's going to be just waiting on this to arrive here, bringing some of this heavier rain later this morning. But that band right there could cause some flash flooding with the slow movement that it's creeping its way toward our area. There will be some areas in those locations there that pick up 5 to maybe 10 inches of rain out of that one today. So we're going to see some flash flooding. Definitely a problem for us later this morning. The good news for Houston is they're getting a little bit of a break from the heavy rain. There's been some dry air get pulled into the storm, and that's actually cutting off a lot of that flow of those heavier rain bands back over Texas. You can see that dry air as it gets sucked in here from our water vapor imagery. That's a good thing. We want this dry air to just keep on moving in, and then the more of that dry air that moves in, the less rain that the folks over in southeast Texas will see today. And this is really just one band that's moving here over southwest Louisiana this morning. It's just the fact that it's creeping along that's going to cause us problems over the next few hours, and something we've definitely got to pay attention to. Day planner keeps the rain chances high through the day. Today we'll go with a 100% chance this morning. By noon, still scattered downpours on into the afternoon. Here's our future radar. This is one of the computer models here that indicates that heavy rain still stretching over our area this morning. It tries to show redevelopment here, especially as we get into the afternoon, and that's something that's a little bit concerning because these individual cells will have the potential for more heavy rain, and that's what likely could dump those totals over the next 24 hours in some locations here, 5 to 10 inches of rain just over the next 24 to 36 hours. So problems for our area. Of course, hopefully this model doesn't pan out like it's showing here, because we could be talking about some serious issues here by midnight tonight if that much rain does fall. But I will say, with that drier air getting pulled in, at least on the backside, and we're not seeing a lot of redevelopment of those squalls back over into Texas, that could lead me to believe that we see a little bit of a break by this afternoon. Nonetheless, we've got to deal with another landfall here. This is the latest projections from the National Hurricane Center, moving this storm back out over the Gulf of Mexico here, remaining it as a tropical storm sometime around Wednesday night, pushing it back ashore here, either over on the Texas side or over on the Louisiana side as a tropical storm. So this could have impacts later this week with regards to some minor storm surge, as well as those tropical storm force winds. Here's the track by Friday, finally departing the area by the weekend. And the two main models that we show, the American and the European model, both show similar scenarios here, keeping it a rather weak storm, even with it re-emerging here briefly over the water, but pulling it somewhere over at least either into southeast Texas or the southwest Louisiana side by Thursday. That just means for us, more rain will be compounding that with some added winds as we head over the days ahead as well. So widespread totals of rain. By the end of the week, we're going 10 to 15. Some areas can see as much as 20 inches of rain. We could have some spots, though, today, especially if those heavy rain bands set up over our area, that pick up 5 to 10 inches of rain just over the next 24 hours. So that's something that we are concerned about as well today. Best advice, just stay off those roads if possible today. Of course, a lot of places closed, schools closed, and a lot of people are just going to hunker down, and that is the best option for today.
Best thing to do, yeah. Don't get out on the roads because that's just going to get you into trouble unless you have to go to work.
That's an emergency, right?
Okay.
Coming up from Louisiana to Washington, D.C., we'll tell you what the governor's office is asking President Trump to do to help Southwest Louisiana.
We will be talking live with the governor's office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness at 6:23.
So you haven't been hearing me talk about prices very much in our TV commercials lately, but there's some offers available on the Camry right now that are just too good to not talk about. With Toyota's rebates and our discounts, you can get $5,000 off MSRP on a new 2017 Camry. Or if you like to trade up every couple of years, you can do what my wife and I do and lease one for $279 a month with $0 due at signing. You literally don't even have to bring your wallet with you to buy the car. If you've been thinking a Toyota Camry was a little bit more money than you wanted to spend, come let us show you how affordable it can be to own a new Toyota. Lake Charles Toyota. Raise your expectations.
Lisa lost 52 pounds on Medifast. She has no more aches or body pains. Sal lost 48 pounds on Medifast. He now enjoys running again. Medifast is a clinically proven and doctor-recommended program. By joining Medifast, you can feel confident knowing you will see results too. Call Medifast today and get details on how you can start losing 20 pounds for $20 plus the cost of your weekly meals. That's right, 20 pounds for $20. Call today, 721-0633.
Little people can have big sleep problems. From sleepwalking to night terrors, we can diagnose and treat pediatric sleep disorders so that your little one can rest easy. The Sleep Disorder Center of Louisiana.
I was injured in a car accident. I have bills and a lot of questions.
At Hoffes Duval, we answer all your questions, and we know how to win.
I called Hoffes Duval. They had answers, and they got me $450,000.
Injured? Just dial 9 and all zeros.
Hi, I'm Mark Boniel, owner of Mark, where we sell Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. And at Mark, the summer clearance event is saving our customers thousands of dollars.
Like a $12,000 discount on a 17 Ram 1500 Crew Cab, or get 0% for 72 months.
Or take $7,000 off sticker on a 17 Jeep Cherokee Latitude.
And unlike some of our competitors, we have plenty of these ad units to choose from. So come save thousands today at Mark in Lake Charles.
.626 continuing coverage this morning of the flooding across the area due to Harvey. Governor John Bel Edwards is asking the White House for a federal emergency declaration for each parish in southwest Louisiana. We've got Mike Steele with us on the phone from the governor's office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness. Now, Mike, just what does this emergency disaster declaration do for the area?
Well, first of all, it opens up the ease of getting commodities into the area. If we need things from FEMA, like MREs, sandbags, those types of things, it kind of speeds up that process. FEMA has actually been in the state since last week. They've been operating out of our EOC because it was so difficult to kind of determine exactly when the impact of the storm was going to be felt. So they're usually very proactive ahead of event. They send people down and get that staff in place, the initial staff, and then as things start to develop, they send more staff down.
Excellent. Okay, and I understand we've heard information this morning that the governor is expected to visit southwest Louisiana, Lake Charles sometime today, huh?
Yeah, I know his staff and our director, Jim Wascom, have been talking about trying to get over there. There were some concerns about what the conditions were going to be like. We have a unified command group meeting today where the governor meets with all of the cabinet heads and the key agencies in dealing with this type of disaster. We have one of those meetings scheduled for this morning, and there was some talk about trying to travel over to that region today as soon as we wrap up with those meetings.
Okay. How important are volunteer groups, churches, nonprofit organizations to helping out in the aid effort? We've already seen several churches here helping folks with sandbags, opening up a shelter, and getting food and breakfast for them this morning for the homeless. What are you asking nonprofit groups, churches, faith-based groups to do in the wake of this disaster?
The timing of your question is pretty good, because I was actually watching a briefing this morning with Brock Long, the new FEMA director, and he stressed the importance of volunteers to get us through this. Houston has taken a massive blow right now with everything going on, and they also have the unique situation that we faced last year with many areas with both of the floods, either the March flood or the August flooding. And you're dealing with recovery already underway in some areas, while you're literally still pulling people off roofs in other areas.
Right.
So you're talking about a tremendous strain on every level of government, from the local government all the way up to the national government, federal government. And so volunteers, the need for faith-based groups, different organizations that can help out, there's a tremendous need. Government can't do everything, once an emergency rises to a certain level. And so, we really saw a lot of groups step up last year. Mm-hmm. And so everyone's kind of working on defining how do we get those groups involved. And what you would like to do is have a coordinated effort so that you're not, duplicating some volunteer efforts in some areas and kind of leaving other areas out to dry, I guess. But what we're looking at is FEMA has instituted a new website that you can go to.
Okay.
I know they were talking about it in this press conference. I'm sure there'll be information available on FEMA's website.
We'll try to get
But if you have a church group, go to that website and check out those types of
okay.